Hello YouTube, welcome back to Cage of Shadows, and the next episode of Let's Play Shadowrun Hong Kong. I've kind of lost count where I am on the episode count. I'm hoping this is episode 6, but I'm not entirely certain. Thankfully my lovely wife has just come in and held up hands, so she's keeping count because she can hear me when I'm recording, so she's fantastic. Right, we have Gaichu, so let's head back and see if we can get him into the waterfront. See what Kaini Chen has to say about bringing the ghoul into the waterfront. The MTR rockets noiselessly towards Hio along the edge of the Kulin Bay. The black water glitters in the night with the light of 1,000 reflective storefronts. Gaichu stares sightlessly out the window, one hand pressed to the glass. The plot by the elders is exposed and Portal Lamb is in your debt. You have a new ally and the respect of the Womps. Sometimes everything goes right on a job. You count yourself lucky this was one of those times. So what's going to go wrong when I get back to Hio then? Tell you what, that gang's etiquette though is coming in really useful. Yeah, really is. Come on. Please load. Please, please, please load. There we go. Ooh, 8 karma. Claim the payment for your runs at the mission computer. Ah, nice. 10 karma now. Wow. Okay, let's spend some karma, everybody. Body's not going to go up for a while. Range combat. I've got dodge rank 1. That's good. Okay, so the question, we can do an 8 XP, and we'll get range combat up to 5, and we'll get Deadeye. I don't think we haven't done any decking yet still, so I don't think we need any more decking yet. Could put willpower up. Helps boost resistance against certain magical attacks, and charisma. I can get 2 more. Now I'm really tempted. See, normally when I build a character, I go, right, the quickness goes up to 5, then intelligence, and then I'll bring body up to 5, and I'll do it like that, sort of slow progression, so I'm fairly well-rounded. But the other part of me wants to just run up to quickness 7, combat 7, and then change up. But I think that's wrong. I think I want to take this slow and steady. Range combat. Calculate to hit. And what does this do? Calculate chance to hit. Okay, so those two together work out how I can hit, whereas pistol gives me a critical, and it gives me abilities. So that's going to be 11 XP to get to the next one. Yeah, you see, you play a face now in this. You are obviously the face of the group. It's standard for all of these 2D isometrics. You're always a team leader, so you're always got to the narrative, so you always have to invest in charisma. That's why I imagine people that play shamans get a lot out of it, because your charisma is naturally high, so you can take all the charismatic options. Supposedly they've redone summons as well, spirit summoning, so that the totem, there's passive totems now, which are meant to be quite good. Cobra, people are saying on forums, is meant to be rather impressive. I shan't be doing that. I don't want body at the moment. Oh, cyberware affinity. Yeah, we had. Okay, I'm not going to spend any. Sorry, guys, I'm being a bit of an indecided git. Steven Dynamite. Nah, it has to be Black Dynamite. Hilarious film if you ever seen it. Why are these people out there? Oh, a smuggler. Alright. Well, I want to get some pay. I want to get paid before I do anything else. Your workstation. Check your inbox. 3 unread messages. Okay, let's read them. Attending party. This is from Carney Chang. I need you to come to the parlour. A friend and a business partner of mine named Dr. Xiang has needed your services. Something about attending a fancy party in Repulse Bay. He was unwilling to give me details. I think he wanted to size you up himself. Raymond's Black's history. Isabel. Duncan asked me to do some digging on my own into Raymond's history. I guess he doesn't trust Carney Chang to give him the full story. I can't say I blame him, since she'd hide things from us if it was in her best interest to do so. So I've been poking around various corners of the Matrix trying to dig up what I can. Most sinners leave data trail the size of an aircraft carrier in their wake. Working backward in time, Raymond starts out that way, but it slowly tapers into nothingness. I'm sure I can find some basic records in Seattle Power, Utilities, a couple of public discussion sites he's signed up for. The further back I get, the less I find. And the craziest part about it is prior to 2032, I can't find anything at all. And that shouldn't be possible. It's like Raymond didn't exist before then. This is 56, that's only 20 years ago. So he still would have been a young man then. I don't know. I'm hoping to keep digging. But it'll take me a while. I'll let you know when I get some news, Isabel. Nice useful opportunity. Oh, yo, come see me if you have a chance. I have a trade opportunity. Maximum. Ah, nice. One per blah blah. Done is what happens when I rain the fire. You have 0 messages. Opens jobs directory. There you go. Claim payment. You submit the job is finished and await response. A few minutes later, a message pops up. The Womps tell me that you've outed all the Council of Elders, something to do with exposing their efforts to cover up their own mess. Isn't a resolution expected, but I think it's acceptable. There is one thing I don't trust, it's people who won't pay what they owe. Thankfully, the Womps are more reliable than Nig and our allies, and so am I. Your payment is attached. 1400. Awesome. Go back. Walk away. Shall we see if we can go and find, or have an objective? So what does a bunk do for me then, I wonder? You wake up with a start, your limbs bound up in sweaty tangle of... Oh, that's an optional objective. Bollocks. Tangled bedsheets, an incredible sorrow swells in your chest. You feel empty, half-starved and alone. Fragmentary memories of a half-remembered dream fill your mind. It's already fading. Chase the memories. You close your eyes and concentrate, willing yourself to keep the dream from slipping. Gradually the memory comes back to you. The walled city. You were back in the walled city. You don't remember how you got there, but it couldn't have been any place else. Even the barons weren't so squalid. You remember craning your neck to look above you. The building that made up this part of the walled city were new construction, even cheaper than the old. Now their foundations had rotted out from under them, and the building leaned into one another like a gang of drunken men. A rain of plaster and asbestos sprinkled down, dust in your shoulders. You begin to creep forward, picking your way past the piles of refuse and debris, past the pimps and the dustifiers, the broken glass and the dirty needles. The air reeked of rotten sewage and industrial waste, a disgusting melange that caught in your sinuses and crawled down your throat. You gagged on the stink, but it didn't slow you down. In the back of your mind, you knew that you had no reason to be doing this. There was nothing for you in the walled city. You shouldn't have been there. But the rest of you was hungry, unbearably, indescribably hungry. That part of you knew that if you kept moving, you'd finally get to eat. As you forced your way deeper into the walled city, locals stood at their windows and stared. Inexplicably, some of them dropped to their knees. You kept moving. You could see something off in the distance, a silhouette. Something enormous, at least twice the size of a troll, but delicate. It was beautiful. The huge figure beckoned you, gesturing with a slender limb. An explosion of warmth filled your chest, and you knew that if only you could reach it, your problems would be over. She, would make all of your sorrows disappear. You moved forward at a crawl, but the figure felt impossibly far away. You reached out, calling to her, and then you woke up. The empty feeling in your stomach slowly fades, taking the strength and vibrance of the memories along with it. Whatever. Oh dear. Let's go up here. I don't really care about talking to Duncan at the moment. He's a whiny shit. Though he is good with a gun. Alright. I'm gonna find Gaicho. Where's Gaicho gone? I wonder. See what Izzy's done with him. Izzy's cabin is an exercise in controlled chaos. Her living space is utterly dominated by an enormous jury-rigged computer. Serpentine cables snake from component to component, tying dozens of obsolete terminals and cyberdecks together into a single colossus machine. This is my personal machine. If you're looking for your mission computer, it's downstairs. She doesn't bother looking up. You can see that she's elbow deep in the guts of her obsolete cyberdeck, one of the half dozen that's been wired into a computer with braided cables. Yeah, I've seen it. I like this better. Thanks. She can usually study the cyberdeck's inner components, clucking her tongue. Skinny fingers dart into a label to label a stray wire with a strip of electrical tape. So, you need something? You want to crawl out of that computer and talk to me face to face? Nope. Sorry. This is a delicate process, and you're interrupting me in the middle of it. Later, then. See ya. I'm not going to push. I wanted to speak to Gaicho, really. You know, the ghoul that I brought along is kind of, I guess he's downstairs. I guess I was meant to speak the Russian before. Let's speak to the Russian. It's oppressive. Oh god, so much text. It's oppressively hot down here, and the air is full of synthetic odours that grab you by the sinews and refuse to let go. You can smell engine grease and melting plastic, ionized air, and lead solder. A quick scan of the room tells you why. The downstairs tenant has converted the space into a machine shop. Metal fabrication tools and Duraplast extruders line the wall, and a pair of heavy industrial manipulators hang from the ceiling. A man in black trench coat stands with his back to you, staring at the monitor above a sturdy workbench. He addresses you without turning. Ah, I was wondering when I'd meet the new neighbour. His voice is pleasant, cultured. There's a hint of Russian accent there, but it's buried under layers and nuance. Please stay where you are. I'll be with you in just a moment. Unless you fancy an unplanned trip to Chrome Alley, don't touch anything. There are all manner of tools in here that could take your hand clean off. Take your time, I won't touch anything. Ah, you're very kind, thank you. How about I just wait patiently? Try to see what's on screen. The feed on the monitor looks like some sort of design software. You see what appears to be a slim, spidery appendage in orthographic and perspective views. Very good, yes, it's coming along nicely. Very nicely indeed. He turns towards you smiling, and for the first time you see his face. It has broadly handsome Slavic features and a chiseled jaw. His eyes are like flecks of ice. Sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr. Cage. It's no problem, don't worry about it. You're too kind. Now tell me, what can I do for? His voice trails off as a flash of motion catches his eyes. With alarming speed, a sinister-looking drone scuttles out from under the table. Its movements are surprisingly agile and fluid. The machine rears back menacingly, spreading its forelegs in a clear sign of aggression. The man's smile tilts, and his tone goes apologetic. Please, don't mind the drone. He can be territorial. But as long as you remain civil, he will not bite. He extends his hand. Simultaneously, the drone relaxes into a neutral position, lowering its current legs. Rakta, my mechanical counterpart here is called Koisky. Stop, man. No. Shake his hand. A pleasure. His hand is rough and abnormally warm to the touch. He shakes your hand with a solid grip. I'm very pleased to meet you, my friend. In a community such as here, it's important to be on good terms with one's neighbours. Let's ask him some questions. He glances at the brace on his forearm. A technical display winks to life, and goes, very well. The morning's castings should still be cooling for a few minutes yet. That's time enough to talk. Are you Russian? I thought I'd call hint. Yeah, let's ask him his roots. You have a good ear. I'm impressed. Yes, I grew up in Novgorod. Went to school there. Started my career in the industrial sector. Fairly common story, I'm sure. But I've also travelled a great deal, and in doing so, I have absorbed a number of other languages and dialects. How many languages do you speak? Counting Russian and Cantonese, 15. Wow. He shrugs apologetically. Shames me to admit I'm only literate in 12, however. That's still impressive. Perhaps when compared to the common man, but I've known a great Many polyglots who can and do put me to shame. He gives you another half shrug, and Koshki mirrors the gesture. Arabic has been a particular bugbear of mine. The unfamiliar characters and lack of vowels make it damn tricky to get a handle on, but I suppose that's all men have their limits. I quite like him so far. He's an interesting fellow, this. He's one of the Kickstarter. I backed the Kickstarter, and it's one of the extra people that the Kickstarter, all of us that backed the Kickstarter pushed it, so they included him in it. And I like him so far. I like the portrait as well. You've got some interesting machinery in here. Kind of not typically seen outside corporate settings. He smiles. Same can be said of many in Hio, I'm sure. This is a smuggler's den, is it not? Our entire economy is based on people having things they shouldn't. Is there any particular device that interests you, out of curiosity? I'm mostly interested in the drone you've got there. Koski, but my friend, you are wrong. You will never find his like in a corporate factory or lab. He is mine, my own creation. From the top of his sensor cluster to the tips of his claws, I designed him, fabricated his components, and built him by hand. Impressive. He shrugs, no more so than anyone else who follows his passions and perfects his craft. Koichi is an interesting name for a drone. Yes, I suppose it is. Not many riggers would name their most prized possession after a villain from a fairy tale. A nod to my heritage, I suppose. I don't know what it is about anyway. What's the fairy tale about? Thoroughly unpleasant person. Koishiki the Deathless, he is called, and for good reason. His soul was carefully hidden outside of his body, and he could not be killed as long as it remained intact. Koishiki was a villain, and a notorious kidnapper of women, but something about him always struck with me. I suppose it was the notion of immortality through cleverness that resonated. There was something to be learned from that, I was sure. And so, when it came time to name my beloved creation, his was the first name that came to mind. And your drone is deathless, like its namesake? In a manner of speaking, I suppose that he is. I have redundant copies of every piece of his architecture, and his core program is stored on disk in a secret location. Should he ever suffer critical damage, I can easily bring him back. I had a plan once to automate the self-repair process, I must confess. It was really quite ingenious, but alas, my research was lost. One day I will reclaim it, and Koishiki will become as deathless as the stories claim, but it's not today. Morning's castings. Exactly what I said, a casting that I made of a new locomotive assembly for Koishiki. He gestures at the display above the work table. A biomimic design, as you can see. This one is inspired by the walking legs of a decapod crustacean, the mangrove crab to be specific. That's fascinating. Will this new leg assembly make your drone more effective? It remains to be seen, but there is more to life than combat factors, is there not? By fabricating new components for Koishiki, I unlock options, different ways of being. Even the failures, and there have been many, have value in his context. How do you learn to do all this? More training and experience than I care to mention. He offers you a wiry smile. Drone architecture was once my profession, you see. Now it's more of a calling, one that I'm free to pursue now that I've freed myself from the shackles of corporate servitude. Keeping all the machinery running can't be cheap. How do you afford it? Freelance. At the risk of sounding immodest, I've co-modified myself rather well. There are always corporations in need of design consultants. You precise how lucrative such work can be. There is always other work that I can turn to in a pinch. You said you used to work for a corp. Whose payroll? He sighs. That is something of a sore subject. My departure was involuntary, you see. I did not part ways with my employer under the best terms. I will tell you that I worked for Grishin Avictor, but you'll forgive me if I don't want to go into detail. You said you did other work besides consulting. Care to tell me what kind? He pauses for a second, something flashes in his eyes. Koshiki lowers his body into a crouch. A rather personal question when you say. Sorry. Maybe, but then we're having a personal conversation. Sorry, I didn't mean to pry. I'm going to go sorry, I didn't mean to pry actually. No, it's alright. After all, this was my throwaway comment that led you down this path. I cannot fault you for following it. Truth be told, I don't feel especially comfortable discussing my side work with relative strangers. Suffice to say that my freelance activities often fall on the illicit end of the spectrum. I'm not going to poke him. It's okay, I'll drop the subject. Maybe we can come back to it later. Perhaps. He glances at the display library. Now, will there be anything else? I guess I'll go back upstairs. Very well, come back any time. It's pleasant to have someone to talk to. I wonder if Gaichi is down this way. Yeah, he is. Thought he might be. Right, the important conversation that we want to do. It's only taken us 20 minutes almost to get to that. The storage room that functions as Gaishi's cabin is cramped, overheated mess. Piles of old ship parts share space with tarnished cookware, flats of instant noodles, a collection of casts of clothes, and realms of diagnostic manuals of obsolete computer hardware. To top it all off, there is barely any light whatsoever. All of the bulbs in the room are missing. Gaichi is busily moving boxes around, apparently in an effort to carve out some personal space amid the junk that he shares his cabin with. As you enter, he cocks his head and turns round. Welcome to my sanctuary cage. I apologise for the lack of light, but as I do not need it, Goblet took the bulbs for use elsewhere. Gaichi puts down the box that he's in the process of moving and politely bows his head to you. How can I be of assistance? I just want to see how you're settling in. Gaichi rolls his shoulders in a don't know what that word actually means. Diffident shrug. I am among those who can make use of my services and who are not tempted to claim the bounty on my head. Is that not enough for now? Have you been having any weird dreams lately? Gaichi clicks his tongue and sharply dips his head. Yes, I have indeed. I had thought that I was alone in this. No, you're definitely not alone. I saw a vision of shadowy shapes, rows upon rows of sharp teeth, and the stench of sulphur. My initial assumption was that I was simply dreaming of my fear of becoming what so many assume of me, a monster without a mind. Gaichi considers this, cradling his chin between his fingers. Does this coincide with the dream you had? Yes, the very same. Curious, a shared hallucination perhaps? Flows in the Hong Kong ley lines? It's interesting that I had the same dream as you, while I was in gardens and you were here. Were that not the case, I would call this boat haunted. Do you think it means anything? I have no idea, and frankly I do not care. Omens and portents are powerful inducement to behave foolishly. I would suggest leaving the interpretation of dreams to soothsayers and priests. Any thoughts on the last run? Gaichi shrugs, blinking a few times in surprise. What do you expect me to say? You have allowed me to live, invited me to your home or boat, if you prefer, and given me a means to earn an income and use my particular set of talents. I am pleased with this. While I understand your desire to keep the elders alive to preserve whatever goodwill exists between you and the Womps, I worry that such softness sends a wrong message to those in the underworld. There is a time for truth, but there is also a time to send in a message. Is there anything else? I need to talk about being a ghoul. Gaichi inclines his head. As you wish. You are my benefactor and such I will to you. Ask then, I'll do my best to answer. Aside from being blind, how has it affected you? Aside from my heightened sense of smell and hearing, I am stronger, tougher, and more resilient than any mundane human. I can achieve feats of physicality that are normally restricted to adepts, and those are extensive enhancements. Gaichi lifts one hand, fingers crooked to show off his elongated nails. Claws, really. These, as well, sharp as any small knife. I prefer my sword, but in a grapple they come extremely handy. He draws one nail over the surface of his shoulder plate. A hairline sprawl of armour peels off in its nail's wake. Do you still need to sleep? Gaichi chuckles, his laughter rasping over his lips. Unfortunately I do. I am not an undead creature of the legend. If I manage to unlock the secret of rest without sleep, I will be certain to inform you. It seems like your condition has stabilised. For now it has. I will not suddenly become a ravenous beast lurking in the hold of your ship. At least, no more so than I already am. Gaichi bares his teeth in a wiry grin, dipping his head a little. Why did you pick the name Gaichi anyway? It was given to me. This is what the Japanese call ghouls for the most part. I am vermin. A thing shunned by polite society to be hunted and slain for a bounty. My old life is gone. It seems an apt name for the streets as any other that I could choose. Don't you worry that people will think it's a little... I like the attitude that turns tables of power. Gaichi dips his head in agreement. One does not defeat the enemy solely by strength of arms. One must turn one's own weakness into a strength. This is an old and valuable lesson, too often forgotten. Your armour is heavier than what most Shadowrunners wear, and more distinctive too. Gaichi nods. This is correct. It is the armour worn by the elite soldiers of Renroku corporate military, the Red Samurai. What are the Red Samurai? They're Renroku military special operations division, the most elite that the corporation has to offer, on par with Ares' Firewatch or tiered Targanie's Ghost. The Red Samurai are world-class soldiers assigned to only the most difficult and important mission. The armour is a rare thing for a Shadowrunner to have. That is true. It is currently less rare for a Red Samurai to have a suit of it, however, even if he goes rogue. You were? Indeed, for the entirety of my adult life, I was a member of the Renroku military, specifically the Red Samurai. That changed relatively recently. I feel the reasons are abundantly clear. Hence, I still possess my armour, my sword, and my training. They have served me well in both my previous life and this one. How did you end up in Hong Kong? I was searching for a cure. I needed a place where I could disappear into the shadows, find work, and evade capture if the cure did not materialize. The Yatamo Act meant that it was even more dangerous to be in Japan than anywhere else. Gaiju smiled thinly, leaning back on his heels. I went to China, primarily because I hoped to be able to return home. It felt less final that if I had fled somewhere nearby. I went first to Shanghai, but Moroku's presence there was significantly more robust than in Hong Kong. I learned that my previous unit had not stopped hunting me after I left Japan, so I decided to move further afield. Gaichu unfurls his hands, claws pointing towards the ceiling, hence Hong Kong. Where else can anyone arrive and disappear without the city carrying one wilt? Seattle comes to mind. If Moroku were not building that tower and archaeology to dominate the skyline, I would agree with you. Since it clearly has that kind of influence in the city, it seems unwise to make my residence there. Gaichu runs his nails over his chin. Besides, I've always liked Hong Kong. It has more character than the UCAS. Since arriving here, I drifted between neighbourhoods, telling my service to those who were unafraid of my appearance and condition. Gaichu frowns deeply. It has not been as profitable as I'd hoped. See you later. Please come by whenever you like. Right, that's enough conversation. Oh, what do we have here? Box of mementos. Gaichu's box of personal effects is overflowing with a collection of souvenirs and knickknacks. This must be the box we looked at last time. There's no rhyme or reason. They appear to have been thrown in haphazardly. Lying atop the box, a collection of antique Japanese coins, inside an overturned wooden mask, and a black lacquer box of gold inlay. Gaichu cocks his head, sniffing the air in your direction. I see you found my box of personal effects. Please, feel free to examine whenever you feel like it. Just take care to put them back when you're done. I do not own much, but the things I keep are very precious to me. All that remains of my former life. I'm just going to leave that there for the time being. I'm going to... Oh, apologies. Right, I want to go and see Max, because he's the womp techie dude. So let's see if my actions... Oh, stop. Let's look at this. Gaichu can probably go up, I imagine. Yeah, hey, Gaichu, what abilities does he have? Armor -2. What? That's odd. Gaichu gains a defensive ability that adds +2 armor and dodge, costs 1 AP. Active defense. Gaichu gains a claw ability, Rip. Does additional 2 damage and 2 bleeding damage, costs 1 AP. I'm going to go Samurai. I want to keep him there. Shuriken. Ranged ability. Ghoul. Spit. Coup de grace. Yeah, coup de grace. Gaichu gains katana ability, 100 damage, but can only attack stun targets. Oh, that's horrible. Wow, that's... You can use... Duncan had ability to create like stun effects. You combine that with Gaichu's coup de grace. I stun you, I do 100 damage. I stun you, I do 100 damage. Wowza. That's a sweet combo. Bite. Metal. Gaichu's metal stance now provides a light cover bonus, preventing crits hit in the open. That's pretty awesome. Whirlwind. Katana attack to hit adjacent targets. Regenerate. Huh, and a healing ability. I like. Confirm. Awesome. Right. Let's go and speak to Max. Max Law, yeah. Max Law surveys the docks from beneath his precariously perched tarpaulin, googled and belted. As you approach, he looks sharply your way and breaks an awkward smile. Hey Cage, I was hoping you'd come around. You got a minute? What's up? Kindly had Wampa burn your sin. Word is you're doing work for her, not normal Yellow Lotus stuff. Shifts from foot to foot. Shadowrunning. Maybe. Maybe not. What's it about? I get it well. I didn't hear anything about it. Law smiles like tight like a conspirator. Listen, if you've got info about runs, I can make it worth something. We Wampas call that thing metadata. Wampas like to get the word out on the street from active operators. Worth something? Creds? Yep, I can hook you up with something. Maybe creds, maybe some sweet programs, but really you'll gain face with Wampa. That counts a lot for more than money. Law looks out in the rain though, across the rocking boats. He wipes his foggy goggles lenses with a rag from his pocket. His stomach gurgles loudly. Augmented reality goggles aside, this gig gets really boring sometimes. You ever want to talk shop? I'm here. Show me what you got. Let's get a boost. Confirm. Confirm. See you later, Law. Gotta go. Okay, watch your back and shoot straight and all. Law grins at you and dexterously flashes a hand sign that Shadowrunners give each other in holovid shows. I've got things to do too. Oh god. Great. He's a Shadowrunner fan, that's not going to go end well. You're new. Handsome Lee. Who are you? It's muggy out, even for Hio in monsoon season. You pause to mop your brow. Suddenly you feel eyes upon you. As you glance up, you meet the tranquil, searching gaze of a man half hidden in the shadows. He's wearing a crisp white tailored suit. Shirt sleeves neatly rolled with dark grey silk tie and smart black trousers. If he's sweating, you don't see it. The man tilts his head ever so slightly in greeting. Newcomer, welcome. He flashes you a brilliant smile, eyes glinting with amusement. You can just barely detect a faint trace of an accent in his voice. Handsome Lee is the name. Purveyor of enhanced sensory experience. I can see you've got some tales to tell. You're not from around here, are you? His face flickers briefly. He's got a decent poker face, but you can see that he's rattled. Why'd you ask? You've still got an accent, Lee. It's barely there, but I can hear it. He fidgets and comes. You're right. I'm not from Hio. Keep going. I was born in Taiwan. I was forced to flee during the Nationalist War. I hear you have a slight accent as well. Seattle. Emphasis on the slight. The corner of his lips curls up smug. It's your move, apparently. Niet, Lusky. Incline your head. Good guess. Redmond Barons. Handsomely, suddenly fixes you with his gaze, sizing you up. His face is impassable. Nasty place. It toughened me up. Nothing to be ashamed of. I know what you mean. My own life experience have left me ready for anything. We can discuss this another time, yes. Let us now talk about business. I am a businessman after all. So, how about it, friend? He opens his jacket, revealing a myriad of small, bulging pockets sewn into the interior line. Can I show you my wares? Let's see what you got, Lee. Alright. Another drug dealer. He does have some cram, though. That is when shit hits the fan and you want to dump an extra 2 actions on it in one go. Bliss. Kamikaze. Nah. Exit. Bye, Lee. Drugs. I'm going to talk to Kylie Cheng. Kylie Cheng appears to be nearing the end of a harsh exchange with Stranglebo, who is listening intently. So, you tell me that little pustule that Auntie Chen isn't... So, you tell that little pustule that Auntie Chen isn't fucking happy. You get it? Not happy at all. Don't tell him that I'm displeased. Don't tell him that I didn't take it well. She slaps a shot glass on the table. Tell him that I'm extremely chopping mad, and if he doesn't want what happened to ye to happen to him, he'd better get his head and his ass wired together and get me his payment today. She raised an eyebrow. Was that message clear enough, Mr. Bow? Yes, Mr. Chan. I explain things to him in terms he can understand. Bow takes a step back and becomes a meat statue once again. Chang's voice turns treacle sweet when she sees you. Our newly minted Shadowrun. How have you taken your new role, Cage? So far, so good. I have no doubt, my sweet. You have a nose for talent. And how is Mr. Gunshow doing with his new life? Don't worry, I have my eye on him. Very good, my dear, very good. She smiles. Was there something specific you came to see me about? Just checking in, Auntie. It pays just checking in, Auntie. It pays to stay in touch. I agree, yes. Personal contact gets results. I have some good news for you. One of my people successfully planted a wiretap on the police's special duties unit. If news of your foster father or plastic man face man reaches me, it will reach me as well. So far, your foster father has proven a difficult man to find, and the plastic face man is elusive. He's clearly someone who knows how to stay out of the public eye. But I have my network running working day and night. I still have some favours I can call in if need be. We'll find them both. It's only a matter of time. Until then, go about your business. I'm sure more work will come your way any moment. She glanced back at her. Now, I have some pressing matters to attend to. The kind that ends in parentless children. I'll talk to you later. Yeah, that's fine by me. Right. Do we have a corp infiltration, I'm hoping? A rotund, balding dwarf in a cheap suit turns to face you. Light glints from heavy gold chains that hang around his neck. Oh, God. When he speaks, the voice that greets your ears is high and nasal, and he has been contorted into a rough approximation of New York accent. Pleased to meet you. Chang was kind enough to arrange this little sit-down between us. He extends a slab-like hand for you to shake. You may call me Dr. Cheyenne. Shake his hand. Pleased to meet you. I'm Cage. His grip is soft as the palm is moist. It's like shaking hands with a boneless ham. You share a long, uncomfortable, flaccid handshake before he finally releases you. Weak. I'm looking for a little outside help on a problem I've been having. Ordinarily, I handle it myself or have some of my friends see to it, but it's kind of delicate, you know. My guys be noticed before they made any headway on any problem, so I figure, hey, I hire contractors all the time, might as well get some contractors a different stripe. Tell me about your problem, maybe we can help. I run a little film studio, Southern Crown Films. We mostly do trade work, but we record some Sims too. Maybe some stuff. Safe Mongols from the Moon, The Flavour of Pomegranates, Ultimate Kill Squad. Can't say I've had the pleasure. Too bad. I'll send some over to Chang so you can take a look. Anyway, there's this other guy in the industry, and we've been butting heads since day one. Name's Neville Ma. He runs Yellow Spring Studios. No matter what I do, I can't shut him out the biz. He always manages to get one over me, steal my stars. He's been running me into the ground with his show called Promises in Moonlight. The star's a girl named Penelope Wong. New talent, but the viewers have been going nuts over her. She's the show's linchpin. Hang on, I'm getting there. So about 6 months ago, Neville was out in somewhere for the hoity-toity party. He's on the road, probably drunk. A semi comes out of nowhere and pow, wrecks his fancy new Eurocar, Westwind. Bad luck for Neville, good luck for me. I figure, hey, that's the end of him for a year, and I start planning some new stuff he can't compete with from inside hospital. You follow me so far? Yes, please keep going. Problem is, the boss is back in the game already, and he's bringing out Season 2 of Promises of Midnight. I need that show off the air, one way or another, and that, my friend, is where you come in. How long does it take him to recuperate? I tell you, kid, it should have been in the hospital for at least 3 months, and in physical therapy a lot longer. It took him a week to get out. I couldn't freaking believe it. That kind of medical care costs top dollar. He's got a lot of money, but not that much. Recovery time like that means one of two things is going on. Neville could have found himself a silent partner, someone wanting to pay top dollar for cutting-edge care. I don't think it's likely, but could have happened. If it ain't that, the smart money says he's been skimming off the top of Yellow Spring's earnings and not reporting it to the other shareholders. Okay, tell me how I fit into this. I need you to get me something to blackmail Neville with. Find out how he could afford to get out of hospital so fast. He works out of his penthouse most days, so search his computer, closet, sock drawer, whatever. There's got to be something. Where is the penthouse? Neville lives in the Repulse Bay. It's a real swanky joint on the south end of Hong Kong Island, by the bay with the same name. I haven't been able to get anybody in to poke around his apartment because security's too tight. Lucky for you though, Neville's thrown a party on the mezzanine level with all the shops and a restaurant and balcony and such. He's celebrating the second season launch of his show, and everybody's going to be there. It's going to make a real snarl for the building security. You might also want to hit up the party if you can bluff your way in. Everyone close to Neville will be there, and most of them will be free sheets to the wind by the time you get there. Some discreet question might be get the dirt I need. Just remember, you go to the party, don't use your real name. Go with Argyle. Should be safe enough. There's nobody in the biz out here with that name, so nobody will ask questions about how your work's going. Just an interesting side fact, Argyle was the name of the ghoul runner in the Shadowrun Unlimited UGC. Hit the apartment, hit the party, dig up blackmail information on the mail. Sounds easy, you know? He nods vigorously. Oh yeah, Chen talked you up when I approached her with the job. Given what she told me, this job should be a cake. Now, the blackmail material is what I need more than anything, but if you can get Penelope Wong out of the contract, I'll pay you extra, got it? I want that star power on my side. One last thing, I don't want you starting the scene while you're there. You interrupt his party, make a mess, or trash his apartment, I'm not paying you. We clear on that? We're clear. Good. I can't have Ma knowing that I'm after him. In my business, everybody's got dirty tricks, but if you make it public, you're using them. Dr. Chen draws a finger across his throat. That's it. My career is dead as Penelope Republic of China. the People's Republic of China. Nobody work for me or with me ever again, so don't embarrass me. Hey, understood. I'll be discreet. Got it. Reputation is important. I'll make sure that yours remains intact. Glad to hear it. Listen, just for me, I'll make sure you not only get paid well, but also to tell all my friends that you come highly recommended. You don't seem like you deal with Shadowrunners much. Shadowrunners, Moonlight Prancers, who gives a crap? I got money and a job and I don't care who does it as long as the price is right. What's more, I got a lot of friends around town, a lot of them run in your circles too. He looks at you, eagerness in his eyes. So, we got a deal, you want to do it? We have a deal. Great, good man, that's what I like to hear. When you're done, drop channel line. I'll come meet you back here and hand over the money. Right. Okay, so I have an infiltration job. That's nice. I must admit, when I'm GM, Shadowrun on tabletop, a lot of them are infiltration jobs. They're kind of my favourite type. Either lab, corporate facilities, high-rise, good, the fancy places in town. So that's good. Right. Okay, we have a new job. We've talked to Gaucho. We've touched base with Connie Chang. I think we're going to leave it here. And so we're ready to head on out to a party. Do I have any XP left? Ooh, we're going to leave it till next time. We'll make a decision then. I'm going to think about it. So, until next time, Shadowrunners, I'll catch you later. Ciao.